Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you again. Welcome to my own little house. I'm Mary Catherine, and today's video is unexpectedly about natural dyeing. So we're back into the dye baths again. The reason why it's unexpected is that if you're a natural dyer, you have to dye things when the dye stuff comes to you, when it's growing in the field or when somebody just gives you something. And so yesterday, my husband brought back, see, I got a cat coming in. My husband brought back from work a big bag of walnuts, walnuts in the hull. Now, I'll put a little video up, a link up here to the previous time I did walnuts, but don't go watch that because it was terrible, because it didn't do very well. And that's because I used the walnuts when they were dark brown. Oh, there's the corgi. And they were almost rotted. I got them in West Virginia, and they were already on the ground, and they were very black and dark. And so they didn't have any dye left in them. This time, Adam brought me a bag of walnuts that had green or yellow hulls on the outside. And that's what you want. I did look in both my Jenny Dean book, Wild Color. No. And I also read, this is the first time I've really found one of the dye baths in the Williamsburg book to be useful, because they did use walnuts. They both said to soak the walnuts, and I kept the nut in the hull, just all together. I didn't take the hull off. And they said to soak it. Jenny Dean said for 24 hours. Williamsburg said for 12 hours. I did soak them for a while, but they weren't doing anything to the water. It was totally clear. And I thought, well, I just don't have time for that. I don't have days and days to do this week. So I went ahead and turned it up. Finally, eventually got it to a boil, and that did really work. And I left them soaking in there, I think overnight. Anyway, I felt like I got a pretty good dye liquid. And then I did have some nice fiber that I'd gotten from my local fiber studio. So I think I've gotten a beautiful dark brown dye from these walnuts. I am so excited. So we're going to go take it out of the dye bath. All right, walnut dye. I did remove all of the whole walnuts and put them in a bucket to save for later. May try to use them again. And then I strained the dye liquid through a sieve to remove anything else big. And then I had these big wads of fiber, white fiber, that I'd gotten from my local fiber studio. And so I put one of them in here. I had two that I put in an alum bath. My Jenny Dean book, almost called it a cookbook, did say you can use alum. You don't need a mordant, but it can enhance the color. Supposedly. I don't know why she would say you don't need a mordant, but then you can do that. Anyway, I put one in here. I thought two might be too much, even though it was a lot of walnuts. As you saw, it was just a whole lot of walnuts, and the dye liquid seems quite dark, but here's the walnut dye bath. Now, I've had this on a very low simmer for, a couple hours, a few hours. Now, when you let the liquid drain, look with that nice brown. I think that's what I'm going to get. I hope. I'm going to leave it to simmer until this evening, and then I'm going to let it soak overnight. I did sprinkle a little bit of cream of tartar in there, because several people seem to be doing that. That's an acid that would, make it more acidic. I don't know how necessary that was, but I did it anyway. Let's look at this. Even when you squeeze it out, it still has a beautiful nut brown color. I think that's gorgeous. It won't stay this color, obviously, but it will stay this color. Oh, I'm so excited. Finally, a walnut dye. Let's save as much of this liquid as we can, shall we? Get it on top of those hulls down there, and those nuts. The mosquitoes are buzzing around out here, and I want to be done as quickly as possible. That looks good. I'm going to put a Walmart bag over the top of that or something like that and let it sit. If it ferments, they say that makes it even better next time, and we'll see what we get next week. I'd like you to see how much dye is left even just in this wool. I just put it in some clear water and pressed it once. Look how dark the water became just instantly. So this is one of those dye baths where you really, really need to rinse your wool a lot, or you might regret it later, I think. The other dye bath I decided to do is I had lots of marigold, and I realized I had enough fiber to do another ball of fiber. And it's marigold, some dandelion, and some zinnias too. And I don't know if it's going to give me the same effect as the marigolds last year, which gave me kind of a chartreuse, a golden greeny kind of color. But we'll see. And then the next dye bath I'm going to do in a little bit, probably next week or so, is I'm going to cut lots of goldenrod again and do a goldenrod dye bath, because that was great last time. There's Bobo hacking away. So this other wad of fiber, I thought I would do a second dye bath with a bunch of flowers that I've picked over the... Goodness, this says zinnia seeds. That's not what that is. These are marigolds and probably maybe some zinnias, but mostly marigolds. These are some daffodils. There's more marigolds, and I have more outside I'm going to go get. And try to do a little dye bath for this one here, because I think I had some good luck with marigold before. Now here is the marigold and some zinnia and some dandelion. This is the floral dye bath. Very pretty color. Of course, not as dark as the other. That's okay. The fiber has been board and tinted alum, but I haven't added anything else to this, and the pH was pretty spot on for middle of the road. So I'm letting this cool down. It was steamy, and then I'm going to put the fiber in when they are the same temperature. So it may be an hour or so before I do that, and then I'll let it soak overnight as well. Now this is the floral dye, I'll call it, mostly marigold. But when I pull that out and pinch it, I don't really know, there's a little bit. I don't really know how much color I'm going to get out of that. It looks pretty pale beige. I'm really not seeing the chartreuse I saw last year. So I'll go ahead and pull this out. I don't think it's going to get any more out of that dye bath. And I may save this fiber and over dye it later. I must admit I am very pleased with both of these. This one is not quite as yellow as it looks here. This is the marigold and flowers. It's a little bit more goldy. It did end up with much more color than I thought it was going to have in the pot. That's wonderful. Now it does have a good bit of VM. I don't think this was in the fiber when it came from the studio. I think this is from the flowers I used. I wasn't able to strain out everything. And here is the walnut. It's actually quite a bit darker than this in real life. Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's a nice, beautiful dark brown. I am so excited about that. I want to do lots of walnut. I didn't realize how much I like brown until now. So what this means is I need to address something in my studio. I need to address that. Bags of raw fiber that need to be processed and washed so that I can dye it. And I really want to do that. And I need to do something about it while the walnuts are green. I only have one more undyed ball of this. This fiber is Dorset Cross. Okay. I think it was $8 an ounce. I got 4 ounces. And this is the fourth one. Oh boy. So, and I need to do goldenrod. So I've got to have some more fiber. That's all there is to it.